Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Magic and Miracles 2. My name is Anna, and I've created Magic and Miracles for people who want to advance their lives, transform it, and really be in tune with the highest potential that you hold. And I symbolically call it the Golden Buddha. My other two channels are directly below. On those channels, I converse about SPs, how to bring them back, how to win at this telepathy game. But on this channel, sorry, I am discussing everything else that is not necessarily SP related, but basically manifestation nevertheless. So, I mean, in that sense, it could still be applied to SP, but I just have a broader kind of spectrum on this channel. If you're interested in my coaching, all the information, you'll find it below. I keep it rather casual on this channel. It's kind of like a nod to my original channel when it started, and it was just audios with no thumbnails, no nothing. I didn't even bother put a thumbnail there. It's really funny. And so if you're interested in coaching, the info, you'll find it below. If you have any questions before booking, just email me. The email is also below. I'm not really sure what I'm going to title this. It'll come to me eventually. But what I'm burning to talk about, right, what's really coming through powerfully, and I've been thinking about how I'm going to phrase this and et cetera, et cetera. It's like the more I live life, the more acutely aware I become of the fact that this reality is so staged in some sense. You know, it's I'm convinced, that, if you want to call it like people make agreements ahead of time, or it's your destiny, like whatever label in that sense, you want to use, there is definitely that. There is definitely that. I mean, it's kind of like you're given a theme in this life. You're given a theme, all the challenges and your parents and this and that and the other. It depends like how you want to interact with this reality, right? If you take this reality rather seriously, you know it is my experience, and I'm sure it's your experience as well, that it's a really hard experience if you're really persuaded that you are to yeah, just take the cue from what's taking the cue from you. I think this is such a fun, we should teach this in schools. I mean, I'm so serious. I mean, not only that, but the fact is that if you're really like serious about upgrading your life, you will take interest in getting to know yourself, your natural inclinations, and therein lies the blueprint already there, that like what did you, like, you came here with a plan. There was definitely a plan, and the ultimate plan is for you to reach that level where you can separate yourself from the game. You understand? Like from the matrix. In other words, you're able to look at the whole, like everything, the whole world, this physical reality as you understand it, as you know it, and go like, I mean, I get it, it's an experience, but I don't have to be so persuaded by it. Ultimately, I'm the god of my reality. So there's this always this separation of the soul and the human mind. And to tell you the truth, like, I became so acutely aware of this when my dog passed away. It was really, I know, maybe some people will have an issue with this, but this was like my child, and I, of course, here's the thing, like, I really did know that he was going to go, that he was going to pass away. And I fought it. You know what I mean? Like my soul knew that it was time, that this was the time, like kind of like destiny thing. Um, and I really like shut it as much as I could, because listen, there were clear signs, there's certain things like that, I mean, honestly, are just gonna make you feel powerless in this 3D. But at the same time, I how can I explain this? Like my soul knew that this was the right thing for him. It was perfectly orchestrated. Um, everything, his whole entire life, the way that he came into my life, the kind of life we had, everything was so elegant and so perfect. And even if I can say it, like even his passing was perfect in that, like, I was prepared by my higher self, with all the signs and synchronicities letting me know. I feel what I'm saying though is that my human mind really fought it, whilst my soul made peace with it. It really just knew. And I'll tell you something else. Since we're on the topic of loved ones passing away. I mean, again, I know some people will have resistance towards dogs as family members, but that's just maybe because you're not a dog person. I don't know. But he is a family I mean, very much my child. Like I said, not just a family member, but a child. And you know, it's been months and months now since he passed, and it's so true that you don't have access to them when you're very sad. It's very, very true. I started having more and more dreams about him when I started making more peace, because I know it's guaranteed that he didn't see this as traumatic as I did. you know I mean, especially animals, they're so intuitive and so. And I, by the way, I'm not a believer that, like if you were a dog in this lifetime, like it's not a progression, you understand? Like then you graduate to a human. No, like I know that my dog and we have met in other lives. I know that, in just innately and intuitively. So so going back to me, it's my soul knew it. In fact, in downloads and in meditation, I was made aware that he was supposed to pass like a lot sooner, and he stayed around for me. Okay, whilst I was complaining to the universe, like, why did he leave now? Couldn't it have been longer? Like, there's certain things in life that are inevitable. You understand? Like, yes, we're going to pass on. Dogs don't live forever. Like, this is what I mean. Everything else, it's kind of like you can move around in timelines and experience it differently. But there's certain things that are just built into this theater of not foreverness. And I became so acutely aware after my dog passed of this, yes, separation between the human mind and the soul, how the soul already knows everything. It's the human mind that really, really struggles. And no matter how spiritual you are, by the way, you know, there's always an ego thing. It doesn't matter how benevolent you are, how spiritual, like I said, you always want to like feel like you're in charge. But like I said, there's certain things that you just go through in life, and it has got to be okay. There's certain things you cannot control, you know so when you stop struggling against what the universe is doing, and like in retrospect, again, everything just happened so perfectly. You know what I mean? He didn't suffer. It was only that moment in time, that the night that he passed away, that was the only time that he was in pain for that, I don't know, whatever that time it took me to take him to the hospital. Yes, he got older, and these are like the progressions again of life. And so, like, in retrospect, there were a lot of things that I was grateful for, but it's just, I became so acutely aware that life is so short, and the parallel timelines are so right next to each other. It's like exactly how, you would say, oh, it feels like I got him yesterday, you know? And again, when he passed, I just got so acutely, it was so acutely obvious to me that all the timelines, they're just like existing simultaneously. And I was aware of this before, but after that, it just, I don't know how to explain it. I felt it so much extra. And why is that important is because, there's this certain peace when you can relax into what the universe is orchestrating, on your behalf. I had my requests in regards to how Jake, my dog, would go. That he wouldn't suffer for a very long time. That he would have a good life, and it wasn't until the end that, and everything came true. But in the process, like, I wish I wasn't fighting it so much. I wish I just acknowledged, all right, he's gonna go, and like this conscientious thought of, you know, making good with it somehow, but I just couldn't. You understand? Like, I saw him as my child. We've been together for so many years. He lived a very long life, and I just couldn't relax into it. There was no way I could relax into it, you know? And so, to the best of your ability, when it comes to your manifestation, even in the discomfort, like, this is an extreme example, I'm giving it to you now, but the reason I'm bringing it up is because my awareness of the convergence of all timelines got so sky high after this experience that, I don't know, it changed me. It really just changed me forever. I see life different, I see people differently. I'm grateful way more for everything. I thought I was a grateful person before. No, this is on another, like, really, I'm grateful for every little thing, because it's like, whilst you're busy paying attention to the drama, life is happening, you know? And of course, and you're always going to say that, I wish I enjoyed that moment more, and I wish I enjoyed this moment more when it comes to loved ones, etc., etc. And I thought that I did. And I thought that I did, but it's not just the comfortable and the pleasurable moments. But I feel like if you want to be a great manifester, a great spiritualist, or however you want to say it, you got to value all aspects of life. It cannot be this judgment of, this is a bad thing, you know? And whilst, again, your human mind can judge it that way, the huge big picture that the universe is helping you paint and orchestrate on your behalf is just absolutely magnificent in the end. And I really feel like, not for nothing, we as humans, will lose track of, like, how ungrateful we can become. Yes, even in a difficult situation like this, you know, not valuing the beauty that is being orchestrated on our behalf, and being really tempted to go into the perspective and the timeline of doom and gloom, or poor me, or this should not have happened. All of these, like, ego driven situations. But the other observation, I guess, or the thing that I became acutely aware of is that, yes, definitely 100 zillion percent, that all timelines coexist. And I feel like when people can't manifest for a long time is because it's like these two timelines right next to each other. In one, you're suffering. In the other one, you're celebrating. Let's just be radical. And if something happens, something traumatic like this, or some event that derails you, essentially, it's not that the other timeline went anywhere. It's just the amount of time, basically, that it takes you to process and put it all back together, the puzzle of I misunderstood. The universe is very much on my side. It's just that this is the way that this 3D reality is set up. It doesn't mean what you give it to mean. In some cases, because again, we're so conditioned with our human mind for certain, and especially, if you have mama drama panorama, and who fucking doesn't, am I right? That doesn't, it just doesn't exist. Okay. Then it becomes harder. But if you're staying in the moment, and in that moment of something, yes, it could even be something like this. It doesn't, so people who come to me in coaching, it has been going on for years for them, you know? And so they're trying to get back to that golden Buddha state. Let me just call it this way. But that golden Buddha state and status never left. It never fucking left. It's right next to you. It's the emotional journey you take to again reconstruct your reality like a mosaic of reminding yourself, yes, I am in charge. I am in charge in that I do create my reality. Can I control every fucking aspect of this fucking reality? No, I can't. Because there's certain rules, it's a society thing, it's a 3D thing, it's a whatever thing. Sometimes, people get irritated when things take a longer time. Okay. Well, that's what the fuck it takes in the 3D. All right, like legal issues comes to mind, or the birth of a baby. Okay, 9 months, that's what the fuck it takes. All right. And so that too, when people become confused and say, it should be here already. Well, what makes you say that? What makes you say, are you in this journey in earnest? Are you doing the journey, or are you too busy telling the universe what it should and shouldn't do? How are you being this person who's helping, vibrationally speaking? And if you are aware that you do have to take the emotional journey back home, so to speak, to the home base, right, of this timeline that didn't leave you, you left it. Because you got derailed by thinking about certain things not the way the universe sees them. Okay, the universe sees it as perfect timing, perfect orchestration, perfect everything. You have another opinion, and this is why you're suffering. Okay, if in that moment you decide, all right, I can separate my human mind from my soul can still maintain its peace. My soul can very much be cool, calm, and collected, and still maintain this connection to the source, all the while knowing that my human part is just what it the fuck is. Okay, psychologically, mentally, emotionally, it's going to go through this journey. Let's just say it like that. It has to. That's the deal, and then it becomes easier. It's kind of like, well, your body, your human mechanism is the car, and the soul is driving it. And then you can gently direct your human mind. Hey, how about this? How about you entertain this now? But the feeling that you get of being in control, in real control now, not that you're nitpicking and saying this should have happened like this, or blah, blah, blah. No, real control is peace. Real control is knowing you cannot fail. Real control is real understanding that this is indeed in your favor, which is why everything is playing out the way that it is. Your human mind translates it differently, but your soul already knows the outcome. And that's the other thing I was going to mention in this audio. There've been many, many times in my life when I literally felt this. I think the only way that I can describe it is a sense of deja vu, but it's a feeling of I've been here before. Like I've lived this life before. I already know how things will unfold. And I've had at least a dozen of moments like this, starting right after my deep dive. Like I cannot say enough good things about meditation, guys, because listen, when I started meditating, it's like another portal opened up in my head. I'm so serious. And I started getting these downloads. I started being clairvoyant. It was so crazy what happened. I'm so serious. The only way, again, I can explain is like I got upgraded. Like, when you get an upgraded iPhone or something. Or some kind of a version of an app. Yeah, it's like let me just say it like this. Let's just pretend it was an iPhone 1.0. I went straight from iPhone 1.0 to like at least 12.0. Okay, at least if not 20.0. True story. It was quite fabulous, which is why I highly, highly recommend meditation. And I mean, what can I say? It's the same for all of you. You have lived this life already. You already know what's going to happen. It's not really a fucking surprise for you. There will be, if you plug yourself into the universal quantum field in your meditation, this information will be available to you too. And you will know exactly what to do. You will be also aware of other timelines. Like, in other words, if you're at a crossroads or if you need to make a decision, you will have your little powwow with your spiritual team. Guys, what do we do? And there will be other options. They will give you downloads, messages, synchronicities, dreams to select. If you continue this way, you'll end up here. If you change this and this and this, you'll end up here. They literally will give it to you like this. And it's like every moment you could be selecting another parallel reality leading to that ultimate timeline where your goal is accomplished. Essentially, even though it doesn't look like it right now, it still doesn't matter. So in essence, like you know well ahead of time what's going to happen. You're choosing it though still. You always have the choice, right? You're the only one who has the choice, like which reality to end up in. And may I say, you have to really persist rather hard for something negative to happen, because they always they give you ample time. Let's just say it like that. So the universe is really, really, really benevolent. And the other thing that I want to say is that not only did you live this life already, you're living simultaneously other many, many different lives. If I am aware of mine, I know there are people out there with the same exact situation. Maybe you're not aware of them. Maybe it's irrelevant for you. It doesn't resonate for you to know. But you do have other lives, terrestrial and non-terrestrial. So now think about this, like every time you're falling asleep, you're flying around in other dimensions, other planets. You're doing things, you know what I mean? You're saving planets. You're augmenting your expertise. This over here, 3D, is nothing for you. Now, even if it's unbelievable to you what I just said, just thinking of it in these terms that you are everywhere and you are everything, kind of like you know everything ahead of time because you're connected to the quantum field. If that's unbelievable to you, then you know what? Just entertain this idea as something to distract you from the so-called seriousness of the situation. And if you just perceive this existence exactly for what it is, just a school. How am I doing? Let me be curious about doing well. Let me be curious about abandoning the past narrative and creating consciously this time around. Whilst I'm here, I might as well have fun. I'm speaking for you. Whilst I'm here, I might as well have the game be rigged in my favor, which it is, but am I aware of it? Whilst I'm here, I might as well let the universe fucking help me, you know? Because you're capable of it. Your soul has already accomplished it. Your soul knows all the answers. You only need to tap into it. You're struggling against yourself when you're buying into what your human mind tells you. So there would be a difference. Again, I can't suggest meditation enough because you can only tell the difference, I feel like, in meditation, what's really you, the holy, the divine, your soul, and what's the mama fucking drama panorama doing overtime, working in your mind, this restless situation upstairs, and I have to say again, it became so obvious to me around, yes, right after Jake passed away, how this human mind is irrelevant. All that matters is, like I said, the true essence of you is peace. The true essence of you is confidence. The true essence of you is being all powerful because you're able to trust the universe, because you're able to relinquish your ego and be one with it. Just be one with it. What if everything is in your favor? What if everything is lining up exactly as you asked for? If you just stop complaining, if you just stop putting importance on things that bother you right now, I know it's a human thing, which is why I'm here. I myself am guilty of it. But when you really start to, number one, give yourself grace. I have to say this. Give yourself grace to process what you need to process, and then realize that even whilst you're processing, because I think a lot of people are also afraid of this, the universe will back you up. As long as you're not hard on yourself, as long as you don't interpret reality against you, all is well. You can be pissed off, you can do X, Y, and Z until your human brain and body, they can adjust in frequency. But know that that's what you're doing. Know that this is again, this is just how stuff works in physicality. There's no way, like, it would be too extreme. I've been saying this on all my channels, even on the physical level, on a molecular level, for you to jump timelines instantaneously. It would be too hard on your body. So there's certain things that we just need to respect in this 3D. And this is why the patience is required. This is why the discipline and the diligence to show up for yourself. And more, try to mirror your reality to that one of your souls. Complete peace, complete trust, and then see what's going to happen. Suddenly, the same reality, it morphs. Because you just chilled the fuck out. You let it work the way it works. And you just observe all the beauty and all the blessings that it gives you. If the interpretation changes what has gone on up until now, your life changes. It's as simple as that. Because your soul has already lined up all the fucking blessings, everything you can possibly imagine is just letting go of this addiction, quite frankly. And I know it used to be me as well, of having to interpret shit against yourself rather than looking for, no, I know for shit sure that my higher self is working behind the scenes right now for me to orchestrate shit in my favor. I know this was also orchestrated divinely. I have to trust this because I know that this is my reality and the universe is on my side. But this knowing, again, it comes spiritually. It's like I can tell you, know it, believe it, but it will happen to you spiritually. You will have this download and you'll be like, yes, now I get what Anna is talking about, because it's impossible to translate it into words once you download this feeling of homecoming. After processing your emotions, after dealing with whatever you have to deal with, right, to get on the other side, you will have that homecoming, peaceful state, and you'll never forget it. And that I wish for all of you, because from that vantage point, you can create anything. It doesn't matter what, like once you know it, you can't unknow it. And then you become much more trusting. You become much more relaxed because you realize you can't control shit. You can just go with the flow of already prearranged shit that you yourself ordered, okay, that you yourself already expressed to the universe million times over. But this, are you willing to understand that the 3D is just, well, 3D? Thank you very much for listening. All information from me again is below. Until next time. Ciao, ciao.